I was a Marine. I defended our embassy in Iraq.
I was in the Army. I was a combat photographer in Somalia.
We did a lot of good over there.
I saw a fellow soldier save the life of a child.
That's why I'm still serving.
And that's why I'm still serving.
These are the stories of true American heroes, of men and women who served in the U.S. Armed Forces, veterans now, still serving their fellow Americans. Hello, I'm Jim Benson. Welcome to Still Serving. Today we're very pleased to have Curtis L. Coy. He's the Deputy Undersecretary for Economic Opportunity, and we're thrilled to have him in our studios today. Mr. Coy, thank you very much for joining us. I want to not only welcome you, but thank you for your military service as well as your continued service to our country and now to our veterans. Now, you've already had a distinguished public service career as evidenced by a Presidential Rank Award in 1984, the Surgeon General's Medal in 2002, and a Distinguished Service Award from the Secretary of Health and Human Services in 2009. But let's begin with your military career. You started as an enlisted person in the Air Force and finished up as a naval supply officer. How did that come about?
Well, it's a long, circuitous route. I joined the Air Force, went down to Lackland Air Force Base and went through boot camp like all of us did, and was serving in the Air Force and applied to the Naval Academy. And believe it or not, got accepted. I tell all my Air Force brethren that the Navy was looking for really smart, good-looking people, and so that's why I went to the Naval Academy. And but all kidding aside, I had applied to the Naval Academy, got accepted, and took advantage of it, and that's how I ended up in the Navy.
And I heard you had shipboard as well as other types of duties?
I started out as a shipboard surface warfare officer and drove ships for about 5 or 6 years. Applied for the Navy Supply Corps and was accepted, and spent the next 15 or so years in the Navy Supply Corps.
I have to ask, since you mentioned being a ship driver, is there a good analogy between moving a large ship through a body of water and steering a large organization through transformation activities and getting directions to them?
What a great analogy. I often tell people sometimes steering the bureaucracy through these channels is kind of like an aircraft carrier. You put the rudder over full, and it takes a while for that ship to start moving. That's the bad news. The good news is it takes an awful lot to make it go back to where it was before.
Well, after all of that, I have to ask, what brought you to VA after all that success at Health and Human Services?
I was pretty content at HHS doing what I was doing there, and I got a call one day, and there was an opportunity over here at VA. They asked me to come over and talk to them about it. I did, and here I am. The rest is, if you will, history. It rings all of the passions that I have with respect to serving our country and serving our veterans. And so it was a great fit for me, and I never looked back.
Well, I realized, too, that your appointment was last May, so you've had an anniversary here just this past month, so congratulations on your first year at VA.
Well, I'd like to say I survived my first year at VA, and what a wonderful place it is.
We think we have a T-shirt that says that, or let people know that, but what kind of things have you found in that first year that have been maybe a surprise that even as a veteran you were surprised to learn now that you're here?
I think the thing that, I don't think it's surprising, but it impresses me greatly, is the passion that VA employees bring to their job every single day. What I found is it doesn't matter if you're at the low rung or the high rung and everybody in between. If you ask an employee what they do, they say, I serve our veterans and I work for our veterans. What you find in many other places, particularly in government, is if you ask that same question, they may tell you they're a budget analyst or a management analyst. Here at VA, people say, I work for veterans, and that's their first moniker and their first identity. So it's a passion that everyone that I've met here shares.
Well, I think we have, Mr. Lincoln to thank for that. He's given us one of the more concise and direct mission statements for any federal agency or organization. I think that helps keep us focused on that.
Well, I think that quote endures, and so you're absolutely right. It's a wonderful mission statement.
You've had lots of opportunities to lead both in the military and in your civilian service time. What leadership philosophies guide you?
I think from a leadership perspective, I often quote someone that told me that God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth, and try and use them in that proportion. So a lot of times coming into an organization that you don't have a lengthy background with is to sometimes just sit back and listen and understand how the world works here, and that's a whole adjustment in itself.
I remember a story from the Navy that about Admiral Rickover, I believe, who often used a similar type of test for men before he was selected for ship's command, to see if they would basically listen and see what was going on before they attempted to make changes too quickly.
And I think that's a good way to try and look at things, is come in and try and learn the organization and try and learn the people, because from a leadership perspective, everybody brings something different to the table. And as a leader, your job is to try and maximize that mix of what people's experience, attributes, and qualities are, and get good results for the organization.
Let's talk a little bit about education. Certainly you know the benefit of that from the impact on your own career. I can certainly testify to that. Now this is something that's very big on your part of your scope of responsibilities, and there's a new initiative, Veterans Retraining Assistance Program, or VRAP. Can you give us a quick overview of the program and what's its intent?
Absolutely, Jim. It's a wonderful new program. It's part of the Vow to Hire Heroes Act of 2011, which was signed by the President this past November of 2011. And it's just one of many provisions of that act. But what the VRAP program does is it's for veterans between the ages of 35 and 60 who are unemployed, who have no more GI Bill benefits remaining. Either they've expired or they've used them. This gives them up to 12 months of additional educational benefits.
Well, that's quite a bonus and a real kick for them if they're in a situation like that where, to this point, they haven't been able to maybe maintain a career or been laid off from a career they'd already started.
Oh, absolutely. I like to tell people that it's a wonderful program that helps jumpstart someone's career. And what it does is it's for those veterans, again, between 35 and 60. And what's interesting about that is that that accounts for a little over half of the unemployed veterans in this country. And so it's a significant chunk of veterans that need our help. And what it does is this Jumpstart provides the opportunity for them to obtain or achieve or get educational assistance for either an associate's degree or a certification toward a high-demand job. So it's not just a program that gives them benefits. What it does is it helps them get meaningful employment in a high-demand job. That's the exciting part of it. And the program is limited to only 99,000 veterans. So we're pressing hard to get the word out to veterans to ensure that they know about this program, that they could leverage and take advantage of it.
Well, that's a very targeted approach, and one that, with all the news about our newest generation of heroes and combat veterans coming back, that we're target a lot of activities, and the unemployment figures have pointed to for high unemployment rates. Often it would be easy to forget that middle ground group who is mid-career or run out of benefits or perhaps laid off in their particular career area or industry has taken a hit in these tough economic times.
Well, you're absolutely right, Jim, but I want to make sure that we're clear. The VRAP program pays what used to be the Montgomery GI Bill rates. So it is not the post 9/11 GI Bill, but it gives you Montgomery GI Bill benefits for up to 12 months. That translates into about $1,473 a month. And that stipend can be used toward gaining those educational or technical abilities for a meaningful career.
Well, that's a good point. Does the money go to the veteran as well, or does it go like some places where it pays directly to the school like it would in the current?
It works just like the old Montgomery GI Bill. In fact, we've modeled the entire application process and the payment process after the Montgomery GI Bill. So the check, if you will, figurative check, I'm showing my age because we don't do checks anymore, right. But the funds go directly to the veteran. So what's great about it is if they find the program that costs $200 a month, they make out, and if it costs $2,000 a month, then they have to pony up the difference. So it gives maximum flexibility to those veterans. And it means that on the day they apply, they have to be unemployed.
Right. And what's good about that, too, is that that particular group is familiar with that process and how that GI Bill worked when they had first come through military service.
Well, absolutely. But what's interesting is there's a group of veterans in that age group that may be 35 to 60 who qualified for post 9/11 GI Bill, but they possibly used the benefit to give those post 9/11 GI Bill benefits to their spouse or to their kids. If they did that, then they're eligible for this program because they no longer have any GI Bill benefits.
Is there any discharge qualifications and so forth?
You cannot have a dishonorable discharge.
So specifically, when will VRAP be available to veterans?
Well, we opened up the application process on the 15th of May, about 2 weeks before we had originally scheduled. Within the first 15 days of the program, we've had over 12,000 applications already. So in the first year of the program, we can sign or approve up to 45,000 veterans, and that's from 15 May until the end of September. And then from 1 October and next year, we can approve another 54,000 veterans for a total of 99,000. But the key here is that it's first come, first serve. So once we approve 99,000 veterans, the program's over. And the program is only a 2-year program. So it's imperative for us to get the word out to a far-reaching audience to make sure that those veterans that would take advantage of this do.
And is the web the primary way that veterans would apply for this, or is there another method for them as well?
Well, there's sort of 2 ways they can apply, but you're absolutely right, Jim. The web is the primary way. You go to our website and navigate through the website, and it's pretty easy and clear, and you can apply right online.
And even if you don't have a computer yourself, you can go to a library and places where web access is available.
Absolutely. And so you don't have to have your own computer. You just need to be able to go somewhere. The other piece that we're looking at and advising veterans to do is to go to our Department of Labor partners, one-stops. They have over 3,000 one-stops throughout the country, and they are all able to have a veteran come in the door and help them apply for the program.
Well, Mr. Coy, Deputy Undersecretary for Economic Opportunity, thank you so much for being with us today, and thank you again for your service and for still serving. And thank you for watching.